Zup, ladies and gentlemen, this is Devansh Pandey. I'm 14 years old and welcome to my channel Chess Now. So today I am here to help those who are contemplating starting a journey in the world of chess. To say it in a fewer words, I'm here to help you understand how to play chess. First of all, we must understand what exactly is chess. Chess derives from a game in ancient India that goes by the name of Shatranj. But chess is not like humans evolved from monkeys, apes. Sorry, but chess is not like that. Although it is derived from Shatranj, we can say that it is not exactly like Shatranj. It is somewhat like that. For example, Shatranj had many other pieces and it was played on a board called Ashtpad. Chess moved from one nation to another throughout the world, and every nation put a piece, sorry, and every nation added new principles and rules to chess. And that is what led to the formation of the modern chess as we know it now. So now we start off by naming each of the pieces. This piece is a pawn. Every side in the beginning of a game has 8 pawns. This piece in the corner is called a rook. Every side at the beginning of a game has 2 rooks. This is a knight. This is a bishop. This is the queen, and this is the king. The aim of chess is to attack the opponent's king and capture it while at the same time protect your own king. So first we'll understand what exactly each and every chess piece can do. This is a pawn. A pawn can only move one step forward and it can never go back. Such as this pawn cannot legally be pulled back from here because a pawn can only move forward, and that too only one step. However, there is an exception to this rule, that is, if a pawn has not moved before. Let's say this pawn moves forward, the opponent moves the pawn forward, so this pawn can only go one step forward. However, since none of these other pawns have had a move, they can move 2 steps forward. Let's say the opponent puts a pawn forward. This pawn moved 2 steps forward. However, since it has moved, it can now only go 1 step forward. I hope that is very much clear. Now we start off by understanding how exactly a pawn captures another piece. So let's say you move 2 steps forward and your opponent also moves 2 steps forward. Now, although pawns can move 1 step forward, your pawn cannot capture this piece. That is so because even though pawns move a step forward, they cannot capture a piece that is directly in front of them. But instead, if your opponent had played this pawn forward, then you could have captured it with your pawn, because pawns can only capture diagonally, and that too only if the square is just adjacent to them. So the pawn can capture this square, and if your opponent moves like this, then the pawn can also capture this piece. However, if your opponent moves in directly front of the pawn, then the pawn cannot possibly capture this piece. Let's see, if your opponent performs a move like this and you move your pawn forward, and let's say your opponent moves this pawn forward, here you can move forward because this square is empty. But after that, you cannot possibly move your pawn further further down the board unless you somehow remove this pawn from here. Pawns have another special quality. I'll tell you about it right now. Let's say a pawn moves forward, captures, 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 and the pawn captures again. So of course no player will let this happen. They will not just simply let a pawn get to the back rank. But if your pawn gets back there into the enemy's first squares in this row, that is, then you can promote your pawn. That is, you can change this pawn into any other piece except another pawn or a king. You cannot promote a pawn to a pawn, and there can only be one king from each side in a chess game. However, you can promote this pawn to be a knight, a bishop, a rook, or a queen. So let's say you promote it to be a queen. So now this pawn is no longer a pawn, as we all notice. It's essentially a queen, and it behaves just like a queen. I hope you understood what exactly a pawn's moves are. Now we'll get to the bishop. Let's say you move your pawn two ships forward, and the opponent also moves his pawn two ships forward. The bishop here can move diagonally. Like the pawn, he can move diagonally, but unlike the pawn, a bishop cannot possibly move forward. But the advantage a bishop has over a pawn is the fact that a bishop can go as many squares diagonally as you wish for it to, and a bishop can also come back, and that too not just one square but as many squares as are available. So let's say you move your bishop here. So what you must understand is this is not a safe square. Your opponent can easily capture this piece. So I hope you understood what exactly a bishop can do. It's much simpler than the pawn's movements, of course. Now we come to the rook. You move your pawn forward. The opponent moves your pawn forward. Let's say you play your rook here. Well, I do not recommend this. First reason, it's never a good idea to get your rook out in the beginning of a game, and second reason, a bishop can easily capture the rook. And while you can recapture with your pawn, it is usually believed that a rook is way more important than a bishop. I'll get to that later, of course. But let's say your opponent played this. You could move your rook here, and another move by your opponent. Now a rook can go, as you saw, straight up ahead and to its side. It can go as many pieces as are available for it, and it also captures in the same way. Let's say your rook can capture this pawn if you want for it to, but unfortunately the opponent's rook can capture your rook, because rooks move like this, and they also capture in the same way. I hope you understood the moves of a rook. Now we come to the queen. If you remember, please accept my apologies. If you remember what exactly a bishop and a rook could do, you will find it extremely easy to understand what a queen can do. A queen is like a mixture of a bishop and a rook. A queen can move forward and sideways just as a rook can, but a queen can also move diagonally just as a bishop can. So a queen is basically a mixture of a rook and a bishop. Now we come to the knight. Well, the knight is somewhat more complicated than the other pieces. The knight is the only piece in the game which can go over other pieces. If you paid attention, you might have discovered that before moving this bishop, or for that matter this rook, I had to clear out a way for them. However, this is not the case for a knight, because a knight can easily go over other pieces. The way a knight moves is in the shape of L, that is L. A knight can move this way. It can also move this way. It can of course go back, and it can move this way, forming an L, and it can also move this way. Let's say, and the knight can also move back. A knight can go in any direction as long as it is in the exact shape of an L. However, a knight cannot possibly move this way, because although a knight can go over pieces, it cannot stop at the squares where its own pieces are standing. I hope you understood. I hope you understood what I just said about the knight, although I must confess the knight is somewhat more complicated than other pieces. Now, I will tell you the moves of a king. A king can move just the same way a queen can. It can move like in any directions, but the weakness of a king is it can move only one square. So look at this position. This king can move to these 9 squares just around it, and it can also capture any pieces that come in these squares. Oh, I apologize. Wait a minute, please. It can also capture any pieces that come in these squares. Now I will tell you what is the purpose of the game. What you have to do in it, as I told you, was to capture the opponent's piece. So look at it this way. And your opponent does this. This is called a check. Bishop can move sideways, and you cannot capture any other piece, just as you can capture you can not capture a king just as you can capture any other piece. This is you cannot let's say I move this. This is not possible. Although it is a legal move, it is not a legal move in this situation, because when a king is in a check, that is when a king is in a danger, the only moves you can play are those which protect the king. So I could move my queen in the way, thus protecting the king, the bishop, or the pawn. This protects the king. Also I could move my knight in the way. This is called a check. It is a check when, although the king is in danger, it can easily be saved. Now I'll tell you how exactly to win a match. Let's say your opponent moved this, you move this way. Your opponent brought forward the knight. You moved your bishop this way. Your opponent played this move. This is a checkmate. This in this position the game has ended. You may think, well, the queen is controlling these two squares, so the king cannot move here. But you may think, why can't the king capture the queen? That is so because the queen is being protected by the bishop. A king cannot possibly move to a king. You can, when a king is in danger, you can only protect the king, and you cannot play any other move. However, a king cannot also move in a square where it is in danger. So that is the reason why in the example I showed you earlier, that is the reason why in the example I showed you earlier, the king was not able to capture this piece. This was due to the fact that this piece is protected by the bishop, and a king cannot move at a square, which is dangerous for it. So that is a summary of how to play chess. Of course, that is not all. Chess is an extremely complicated game. It's just like me telling you how exactly you drive a car. So you may know how to drive a car, but you do not know the roads. So that will be difficult for you. But do not worry. Just remember what I told you, and tomorrow I'll post another video about how about some common chess tactics and tricks. Another thing I want you to note, another thing I wish for you to note is the following rule. That is, let's say you move this. This is the position of the board. Here, the king can move this way, but the nice thing to do would be moving your knight forward. Here the knight challenge can capture this pawn in the next move. Your opponent plays this, and you may play bishop here. Your opponent plays this. Now you can castle. Castling is simply, well, a king can only move one step at a time, but in the process of castling, it can move like 2 steps. And also, as I told you, only a knight can go over other pieces, but in the process of castling, a rook can also go over the king. The importance of castling is as follows. It basically protects your kings from further attack unless the attack is very well managed. I will show you another example of castling. Let's say Here you can capture. Here you can castle again. But as you saw, you can only go. The king can only go 2 squares at a time. However, the king cannot castle this way because the king cannot vault over this bishop. If you wish to castle this way, you have to remove this bishop from between the king and the rook so that the king may be allowed to castle. Another thing you must note is that if your king has already moved from the original position or is in a check, that is, the king is in danger at the square it currently is, then it cannot castle. It also applies to the rook, that if a rook is already moved from the position, a rook cannot castle either. I hope you found this video informative. If yes, then please hit the like button and also remember to share and subscribe this video. If you did not like the video, then I'm always open to suggestions in the comments section. So please enlighten me as to what exactly you did not like in the video so that I may improve it in future videos. Thank you. This is Devansh Pandey signing off.